Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and you're watching the one and only Keith Andrew Network, available on Facebook and all social medias. Today's episode is 904. We have professional upcoming voiceover actor. Won't say who, as I always say. There's always got to be that drum roll and a big surprise for all my guests. I like to give that wow factor. But the first thing I want to say is for people who want to know what is the Keith Andrew Network, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. And never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. So prove to them, step out to something. If you're watching on LinkedIn, make sure to like and follow our hashtag. Watching on YouTube, hit that bell icon to be notified when brand new episodes are up and ready. And Facebook, make sure to like and subscribe to our Facebook fan page, and as well as Twitter and Instagram. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to jump right into it. So stay tuned.
I support the Keith Andrew Network. I'm Marilyn Ramos, a voice actor, and Keith was a wonderful host. He was very charming, and you won't regret getting interviewed by him.
So the first thing I noticed, I actually made a list of it, is you are a professional upcoming voiceover actor. You are a social media manager, content writer, and scared actor. So I'm going to ask you the last one first. What is a scared actor?
Oh, a scare actor? Oh, that's just somebody that works in haunted houses and, jump scares. You've ever been to a haunted house before?
No, I have a heart condition, but
yeah, I don't recommend it. Yeah. When I worked at a haunted house a long time ago, I loved it. It was one of the most funnest things I've ever done. But I would never want to go to a haunted house. But scaring people was fun.
I don't think,
Yeah.
for me going to a haunted house, because of me like this. Okay, why are you so defensive? No, it's okay. Someone jumps out, that's a jab. It's like, that's horseshoe ain't happened. And so it's fine. Go to a haunted house. You're supposed to get scared. But if you walk around being defensive, someone comes out and you give a jab. Yeah, not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, there were some, circumstances where people were so scared that they would punch the actors who scared them. And I felt really sad. There was this one, there was a little boy who was at the haunted house and someone kicked him. Yeah. And I had to tell him, go on break and, tell an adult, go back and tell your dad who's working there what happened. Yeah. Because, obviously, as an actor, you'd want to get punched, but I kind of understand why people would be scared and they would want to. Yeah. It was just crazy, how people act when they're scared. There's even parts of the haunted house where, glass was broken, mirrors, and people couldn't handle it.
That's glad to have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, for sure. But they never felt that way with me though, because the kind of when I was a scare actor, I was kind of more the creepy little girl. So I had pigtails and I would just, make jokes. I wouldn't really scare them. So I was kind of I feel the cool down, after you're scared, you'd go there and then just get a laugh with me and then get scared again. Yeah. But it was fun.
It's kind of like an elevator, you go up, okay, it's easy, then you're scared, and then you kind of okay, let's take a break because you don't want to put someone in cardiac arrest. So then you make light of it, and then at the very end, thinking it's all over, you get that one big scare in.
Yeah, there was the person in charge said something. He was so happy when a mom was crying and left her daughter there. He was like, that's what I want. I want you to scare people that much. And he was like, I was like, okay. Like I never would want to do that, me personally, because like I remember being a kid and I remember getting scared in haunted houses. Um, and I was pretty lucky. The haunted houses I went to, there was always somebody there, an actor that was hired to make sure that the kids were okay. And they would walk the entire haunted house with a kid. Like I remember it was somebody wearing a Scream mask and they were walking around with me when I was like 5 and crying. And there's another haunted house. I mean, that's how you should be when you're kids, because I mean, they're sensitive. They're people. They're sensitive, and they're still learning about the world.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the next one I want to ask you is, you also mentioned you are a content writer and you're a social media manager. What can you tell us about those two?
Oh, I mean, when I did content writing, I did that for a while. I used to write copy for Living Social. Then I wrote some copy for websites, but then that was too boring for me. So I decided not to do that anymore. And then what was the other question? I'm sorry.
Oh, what can you tell us about being a social media manager?
Oh, I did that for a photography company called You Look Lovely. And it was Instagram post, and I would write post, to generate more traffic. But it had to be like, it had to be something that sounded like the brand. There was certain language I had to use for that. So now in my career, I'm trying to implement all those things I learned about content writing and social media, being a social media manager and trying to do it for myself. So like, it's like a head start.
Well, would you be interested in doing that for like freelancing and volunteer work?
I mean, for freelance, possibly, but then also like, I feel like it's not really like my calling. It's not something that I love, but it's something that I know I could do well, if that makes sense. It's like, it's more difficult to do it for myself, but I'm quickly realizing that, I'm not only working for myself, I'm working for, the people I love. And so I had to do it for myself no matter what. I had to support the people I love and my family. So it's like, it's very important to me.
No, I understand. Now, the next one I want to ask you is, tell our audience a little bit about your background and how you came to do what you do now.
I mean, when I got into voice acting, I sort of always knew I wanted to be an actor. When I was very young, I would sing, and kids in elementary school would tell me, sing for me, sing for me, sing me something. And I would sing them a little song, whatever. And I was like a performer. But then I also didn't like, when you're a kid, you feel like you're being like a performing monkey, kind of. Like they just want you to do tricks for them, whatever. I remember like feeling like, oh, that's not fun. But I always loved acting. Even as a kid, was super creative. And in high school, I read Tom Sawyer. And I put on a character voice, and the whole entire classroom was laughing. Like they really enjoyed my performance of Tom Sawyer in my English class. And I've never forgotten that. And it's just something that I've always had with me. Like it's always been in my heart, performing. Yeah, I know. I have so many skill sets on my profile. I think I'm going to confuse people. If they go on my LinkedIn, they're like, what? She's done this. She's done that. Okay, now she's a voice actress. Oh, she's a singer. Oh my God, like where? Like what?
Well, let me ask you,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a different way to, like a spitball question, or this is a question just for the hell of it. When you were in college, were you a study nerd or a party animal?
Oh my goodness. Definitely a study nerd. I'm still a study nerd today. Still, I mean, I will like read any business book or any marketing book because I just think it's super fun, to learn how I can implement that, for myself or for other people, or who I can help.
Did he
So,
ever do any sports or?
oh my good. Oh, I hated sports. I remember when I was probably like, I was in middle school and I was playing soccer and I was wearing glasses, and then I like the soccer ball hit me and I just like fell to the ground. And then all the kids were surrounding me like in a circle and they were looking at me, are you okay? It just felt like some weird scene in a movie. I still remember. So I'm not that good at sports.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
Mm.
So the next one I want to ask you is, what is the biggest change? Let's see, well, how can I, there's two questions that are similar. What is the biggest change you want to make in your voiceover career?
I think what I want to do is I want to help more people understand marketing and content creation more. And I just need to do it more because I basically know all the principles of how to do it. But I want to show people how to do that for themselves. And I also want to go more into character acting because it's my great love. I've always loved, I love video games. I love animation. I love storytelling. So anything with that is what I'd like to pursue. Geez, that's a lot of answers.
Hey, if you're interested, maybe you can help me with the talk show.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like there's a cool, like, I think, I think you should like hashtags would be so good. Like you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, like you're on all these platforms, but implementing hashtags will make you, people discover you more and like find out what you're doing more. So yeah, I can totally like help you with that. I mean, I'm always constantly learning because all these platforms are always like, they're always changing. There's always new rules. They're never the same. It's kind of annoying.
I understand. For me, I always use hashtag. I think I asked you to follow my hashtag I created for LinkedIn. For that, I'm trying to get more traffic for on YouTube. People are like, oh, how can we find you? You type in KeithAndrewNetwork or hashtag KeithAndrewNetwork. Facebook, same exact thing. YouTube, no, actually not YouTube. Google and Yahoo, I'm still working on. But yeah, I use the hashtag KeithAndrew for everything. I'm coming up with different other names, but we can definitely talk about that off the air. But
yeah.
I want to ask you, besides me, obviously, have you worked with people with learning disabilities? And how can someone with disabilities follow in your footsteps?
I've never yet worked with anyone with learning disabilities, but when I was in elementary school, I was a little bit behind and I was 5 years old because I was blind. I couldn't see anything. And I had to have additional help. And I was around a lot of kids with learning disabilities. They had different kinds. And I was in that group. And I remember too that, the kids would always be really mean. Like they didn't understand, just like because I was also like, I was like a slow learner, also. And I remember the kids would actually talk to me like I was an idiot, but I wasn't an idiot. I basically just was a little bit behind. I was a year behind because I couldn't see. But the thing is, I just think people can be really cruel, and I kind of remember that. So I mean, that's like, I mean, I guess I hope I bet you I probably have worked with someone with a learning disability or any disability before, but they just have never really like said it because sometimes people don't actually publicize that, and you don't know, or any disability really of any kind. If that makes sense. Geez, that's a really, um, but I think someday I hope that I work with somebody with a learning disability because everything should be inclusive, and we need more spaces for that. We need more actors like that, and I feel like it's something that there's a space there. Like that's a space for an actor with a learning disability to take, and I really hope that Hollywood and like that they really do consider hiring someone with a learning disability for like roles. I can go on. Like I'm going on a tangent here. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. So what
Yeah,
do you
I don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
How do you feel about, like, you said you want to go into acting and you want to do that sort of thing as well?
Well, for me, my main goal right now is to work on the talk show and get my foot in the entertainment world. And it's always good, to try it. It's everyone likes to say that stupid line from Star Wars. Do or do not. There is no charge. And I'm like, oh, that's stupid. If you can't try something, you're going to set yourself up for failure. So it isn't just do or do not. Because if you do it, you fail. And if you don't do it, you don't know if you're going to exceed in it. So for me, I like to try everything. I know a lot of people make jokes about, oh, he wants to try this, try that, about whatever. But the biggest thing is, for me, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. When I look for jobs, especially, and I used to work in Woodbury Commons, I would walk into a store, I would look around, and if it feels right and if it feels comfortable in there and it's the right atmosphere, okay, I like to give it a try. There were other stores in the Woodbury Commons when I walked in. The music, I'm not saying I'm too old or anything, but the music was way too damn loud. And the person came over, it's like, you need help, you need help. But yeah, you couldn't hear them because you were being drowned out by the stupid music. But you have to feel it out. Make sure, you know what, I like the feel or the atmosphere, and I like to try it.
Yeah.
By me in the entertainment acting world, maybe, possibly down the road. To be honest, right now, my priority is working on my talk bills, my talk series. That's my priority. And eventually, maybe, if I'm good enough, then other doors will open. But that's another thing I want to ask you. You mentioned you were a social media manager. So what I want to ask you, I haven't asked this one in a long time. Social media, can it make you or break you with everything that you accomplish in your life? Do you think it can help you or do you think it can kill your career?
It depends how you use it, because I feel like if obviously if your social media accounts are just insulting people, minority groups, or just insulting people in general, and that's what you do, I mean, yeah, if someone does that, they might have, some sick support group. Maybe for them it would work. But I just think generally, like, if you're a kind person, I think it's going to be more helpful than a detriment. And truthfully, even if it doesn't work out, you're going to learn from that. And truthfully, people are not going to remember as much unless you really, I don't know. I can't, if you really said something offensive, maybe. I think the trouble comes when you overshare too many personal details about your life, or, I'm not sure if you agree or disagree with that. Like, I think people should be mindful of people's feelings. And if they're mindful of how people feel and they empathize with people, they're just gonna be fine. It's not gonna be like, you're gonna be fine.
I give you an
Like,
example. I give you an example,
yeah.
overstepping, but you know what? It is uncensored freedom of speech, self-expression, and not to talk about politics, but everyone on January 6th, they should have been arrested and prosecuted because that was terrorism. Everyone talks about this stupid white privilege, BS. And I'm like, if those people were black, they would have shot them. Well, that could have been the same thing with if you break it into a federal building,
Mhm.
then you're not just, hey, we're going to do this for, shits and giggles. No. If you break in and you start vandalizing, then yes, they should be arrested. And if they have to use lethal force, then you're goddamn right, they should use a lethal force. It isn't a slap on the list, but everyone who was there on January 6th was, well, I'm a lawyer and I know this and I know. You're just an asshole because anyone who breaks into a federal building should be treated like everyone else and should be prosecuted against all offense against the war. Now, a lot of people will do agree or disagree with me, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. I mean, all this stuff, I mean, just with anything, like with any like political opinion, I always understand. I usually do understand both sides of an argument, unless unless it's so bad and like just really like they're discriminating against, a certain kind of person, then obviously I'd be like, no, like I'm not going to want to understand you.
Well, I bet back. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, like I will probably avoid at all costs politics. I don't want to talk about, at least just for me, I'm not going to talk about what political party I'm in, who I'm voting for. Like that's not any information that I feel like. I mean, it also depends your audience too.
Yeah.
Like if your audience is like a conservative audience or a liberal audience, like that's totally different. But if it's not, like.
Now, for me, mine's just an open door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like we probably would agree on a lot of stuff because, but I'm not gonna go into politics. It's like.
No, I agree with you. And so the other one I want to ask you is, actually, I'm going to give you the last thought. Looked like you were about to say something.
Mm-hmm.
So a penny for your thoughts?
A penny for my thoughts? I mean, I have to say this is unrelated, but I had no idea. Like this was super fun. I had no idea what to expect. Like, I mean, the truth is I would like to go back on like talking about people with disabilities and things like that. Like I feel like I didn't answer that question very well. I'm just saying that I never worked with someone with a disability, but I was around people with disabilities of all kinds, like probably every single one category you can think about when I was like growing up. I even remember having an elementary school friend. She had a disability too, a learning disability. Like I think if people are more open-minded to and celebrate people's differences, I think it would just be a better world. And if people are empathetic, it would be a better world. Because like just talking to you, I think you're super interesting and you're super fun. And the world is missing out if, they don't get to talk to you in your show or, that's how I feel. Like, I think you can make your dreams happen and you are making them happen, which is incredible.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the last 7 minutes. I'm going to pass it over to you. Was there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to promote? This is your time. And you can say anything you want.
Okay. Well, we talked about a lot of things. The one thing that we didn't really talk about was I used to sing for a magic show.
Actually, I did see that, but I didn't write it down because I thought, I didn't want to go too much off the script. But I walked down like the top 4, like, okay, this sounds interesting. But yeah, I did see that you also were a singer.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I dabble in anything that is creative and expressive. I want to at least try once. But then one day you find that one great love, and then that's what you want to do. Just like how you want to be a host. So what my one great love is definitely voice acting. And I would love to do children's animation because I would love to sing in children's animation and also do character voices. So, but sometimes it takes a while to figure out what you love. So you just try different things and then one day something just clicks.
I agree with you. I'm a big wrestling fan. Obviously, you can see from the belt.
Oh my God. Yeah, I see that.
So for me, I have from October to January, and I might do it in February, depends on how it goes. But October to January, I have, like a Halloween theme, I have a Christmas theme. Obviously, we're still in the New Year, so we have a New Year's theme. So you get to hear music in the background and special effects that I'm still working on. I might do one for July 4th. I might do one for Valentine's Day, playing with the idea. But, I try to do so many different things. And people are like, for the talk show, why you want me on the show? I don't even have a disability. Well, first off,
Oh,
you're missing the point by having you on the show. You're supporting someone with disabilities, and you're supporting that person with a message. If he can do it, there's absolutely no reason why I can't either.
mm,
So, the
yeah,
expression monkey see, monkey do. But it
yeah,
takes that one person to stand up and say, I'm going to turn myself into an example. If I can do it, and I read and learn at a middle school, high school level, and I look at what I accomplished for 8.5 years, there's absolutely no reason why this person with a BA, bachelor's, whatever the hell degree they have, making excuses for themselves. They can't do what they want to do. So it's sometimes you have to kick yourself in the ass and say, if you want something, get up and chase it, because it isn't going to magically fall into your lap. But I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, the last question I want to ask you actually is, what is coming up on the horizon for you, and how can our fans and listeners get in touch with you?
Well, I plan on making a kind of like a video series. It's going to be a parody, making fun of the voice acting industry. There's already a character that I created. Her name is Clarice McMiggins. She's a talent agent, very conceited. There's going to be a bunch of different quirky characters. I even have I got all these crazy wigs. I mean, I could probably go get them and show you. I'm going to be acting all these characters out. And because I really think that humor is a way of connecting with people. And it's a way of, people, kind of that they can relate to you. They can relate, to me through humor or, it's just something I've always wanted to do. So that's what I have planned. I mean, I wish I could talk more about what it's going to be about, but then, then it's going to be too many people are gonna. I mean, it would, destroy the surprise, basically.
Absolutely.
I don't want to. Yeah.
So the last one I want to ask you, then we're going to wrap up on the show. I want you to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what made you say yes? How do you feel now, and would you recommend it to other people?
I think the reason why I said yes to being on your show is because I watched some of your YouTube videos, and the truth is, I think even sharing a video of your interviews is a great prover of what you do. Maybe you're the best interview that you ever did, or your favorite, and you share it. Because not everybody is going to look it up, but I love looking people up. It's terrible. the, the internet, you just type someone's name and it's like you almost know all their secrets, which is terrible. But there, I saw a bunch of your shows and I thought they were great. You had some really wonderful, insightful people on there, and yeah, you met so many interesting people. I think that's the coolest job ever. It is to be a host. And do you I have a question for you. Do you only interview voice actors or just anyone in the entertainment
I interview
industry?
everyone: actors, actresses, models, CEOs, professional wrestlers, people with disabilities, people without disabilities. And, thanks to you, we're up to 904 people, not counting my mistakes, obviously, but officially 904. My goal is to reach 1,000. And
You
hopefully
are
that will
gonna
be very soon. But
you're gonna reach that for sure.
no,
I
I
mean that
appreciate
it's
that.
impressive. 900 and what episode am I? 900 and
Oh, 904.
904. Okay, that's unbelievable. That's amazing content right there. That I can't imagine the amount of hours and time. I mean, how many hours?
No, I understand. Now we're gonna go over overtime, but wrapping up on our talk show segment, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road. All your information on your social media will be on the bottom of the screen. So our fans and listeners can definitely leave a comment on all our social medias and be in touch with you. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege, and I just want to say thank you for your time.